for the unassuming, Arceus was actually banned in Generation 4 Ubers, mostly due to the battle simulator at the time, which couldn't support limitations of Arceus. The limitations? Well, in the actual Pokemon games, Arceus is only obtainable in Hard Gold and Soul Silver. In which, the event where you actually get the Pokemon, Arceus is at a flat level 100. Because of this, you cannot actually have a full Arceus, rather, it was only able to have 100 DVs in every stat. Which are basically just stat boosting things. This pseudo-nerf led to the nickname, Farceus, and due to the nerfs, it only had effectively a little over 100 as each base stat, compared to 120 in every stat. Now, we have Pokemon Showdown, which can actually implement the nerfed Arceus. Even with a significant nerf, Arceus was banned from DPP Ubers, as to not completely change the meta as a whole, being one of 4 Pokemon banned to anything goes. Thanks to today's technology. However, there was a separate tier made for Farceus, and now there's a short month period where you can actually play this tier with Farceus. Gen 4 Anything Goes allows the use of all of your EVs, which is called Full Ceus instead of Farceus. That's a little history lesson for you. Now, as a Farceus connoisseur myself, I have a great taste of what blend of Arceus I want. It's even my alt account, only because it sounds cool. However, I want my Arceus to taste unique and exquisite, which is exactly why I want my Arceus just Giratina but better. It actually has 1 turn recovery, and just so happens to have Swords Dance too. Neat. I didn't actually make this team, rather, I just stole a team from somewhere, of which I don't remember. The team is actually really cool, being a paralysis spam team that is just incredibly annoying. A link will be in the description, if you like what you are observing. Now, I'm not the best at Farceus Ubers, but I do know that Rayquaza pretty much always runs overheat for Skarm and Fortress, so I opt to get rid of Mewtwo to bring in Dialga safely. Dialga always lives at least 1 earthquake, so I used it to my advantage, but I immediately throw away like half my health to Tyranitar. I really thought that it would kill. On the bright side, I win the weather wars and sand soon gets replaced by the rain. I decide that I should try and keep Dialga alive, so I use Skarmory against the Garchomp, which means Rayquaza comes in for free. Ray is pretty scary, so I decide to trade Kyogre for the Rayquaza. It wouldn't have actually mattered if this overheat managed to hit me, so the Rayquaza just dies due to the passive damage. Next however, Dialga dies to a Focus Blast anyway. I then successfully managed to lure the Dark Void onto Giratina, of which I wouldn't need to win this game. Skarmory does actually manage to hold together as I slowly chip down his team with Stealth Rock damage. Although, I finally decide it's his time to go as I sacrifice Skarm just to get a Toxic off on this Darkrai. I then stall out this Darkrai's health. I am an epic gamer. Now, I'm facing probably the unluckiest Skyman user of all time, of which they managed to miss a total of 2 Leech Seeds, which allows me to just get Stealth Rocks and roar him out. However, I wasn't ready for the physical Mewtwo to come in and chip Dialga greatly. Luckily, I do manage to paralyze it with Thunder. This Mewtwo is in just the right position to go absolutely insane on this guy. For one, I am literally max HP, which means I can just barely tank this Draco Meteor. I do get paralyzed, but my Mewtwo just absolutely bullies this guy. I do have to get forced out by the Skyman however. I do decide that I don't want to play with Dialga anymore, so I just throw it away in order to get Skarmory for free to whirlwind this Skyman out before it becomes a problem. His last Pokemon is actually Calm Mind Kyogre, which is really dangerous. However, I pushed through and take out the Kyogre with my out Kyogre, only after sacrificing Mewtwo too. I finished the game with Arceus again. Now, this rain team right here. Facing off against this team was its own form of torture. Immediately, this parasect kinda just dies immediately. I'm not locked into thunder so it just loses to ice speed. This Manaphy however, it refuses to die. No matter how many times you thunder it, it always comes back, thanks to hydration and rest. I was seeing red the entire time I was trying to beat it. This fortress has light screen for whatever reason just so that this Manaphy can barely peg both the thunder and a shadow sneak from my Giratina. This forces me to always use Dialga to roar it out, which means it has to eat constant hits from this Manaphy. Garchomp comes in and initially, I thought I've got the counter. I can't lose. And then it just 2-hit K.Os me out of nowhere. So that's that I guess. Fortress comes back and yet again just to do his stupid freaking thing again, setting up the light screen to make this Manaphy immortal. The following footage of Manaphy is sped up 4x. Just watching this battle makes me seethe and mauled looking at it. Fortunately, I finally outraged the blue bastard into oblivion. Fortress decides that it doesn't want to live anymore and decides to explode, and I decide that my Giratina doesn't want to either, so I let it die to Garchomp. I managed to Thunder Wave the Kyogre, and then with a little bit of flailing around helplessly, I managed to get rid of the Kyogre, with a tiny amount of blood, sweat and tears. At last, I finally bring in Mewtwo to destroy this Garchomp, leaving me against this final Pokemon. I sure am glad that this wasn't going to be that bad, right? I'll let the footage speak for itself. And just like that, I became an epic gamer and won the battle. Gen 4 Ubers is most certainly a very fun tier to play. Previously on September 2023, I was going to release an Ubers video. But I forgot. So here was the addendum. Farceus Ubers is definitely not the best way to play DPP Ubers, mostly because Arceus itself isn't entirely that healthy for the metagame. I did have a very fun time playing this tier, so expect the connoisseur to hop back on during the rest of February. I love playing old generations, most because Gen 9 OU kinda sucks. I'm going to be honest with you. With that note, thanks for watching. Leave a comment and like the video, if you like the video. Yep.